What's up, guys? And so I just got out watching Oppenheimer, the new Christopher Nolan movie, and this will be my quick reaction interview for the film. And now I gotta say, going in this film, I truly admire Christopher Nolan's work from Inception to the Dark Knight trilogy, with Interstellar, Dunkirk, you name it, and so much more. I just really admire this guy's work as a filmmaker, and even with Oppenheimer, I gotta say that this was a fantastic film to enjoy on the big screen, especially in IMAX. Even with it being based on a true story, with Oppenheimer to launch an atomic bomb, and even so even like watching it on the big screen in IMAX for the first time, it definitely felt like that. And even with it being set in the war, I think that this was Nolan's best film yet. And now, with the premise of this film is with Robert Oppenheimer, played by Cillian Murphy, who has spent years developing an atomic bomb for a successful launch, and even with this film that's based on a true story, it's set during the war, and even at that it is set in the old times, and even with someone, like I said, it was fantastic, and even with the stacked cast, and even Robert Downey Jr. in this one, like he gave an outstanding performance, like we used to see him in the MCU as Iron Man and Tony Stark, but like even to see him in this film, he truly gave a great performance. I mean, I see him no more as a Tony Stark, like especially in this one, but he definitely gave an outstanding performance. And even with this movie having a stacked cast with some known faces, and even like there's some future Oscar nominations here. And now I want to talk about Cillian Murphy in this film, because this man gave an outstanding performance, especially as Robert Oppenheimer, and even with everything that he delivered. And we used to see him throughout Nolan's work, even with his filmography. But just seeing this as like the lead in this film, it was definitely like amazing. And this man delivered so much, and even played the character perfectly, and even with everything that was adapted from Oppenheimer, and the way that he portrayed that character, it was truly outstanding. And I think that there's a certain Oscar nomination in his future, and I think so I definitely enjoy his performance, especially with everything that he delivered to the character. And now I want to talk about the film, and this was my overall viewing experience going into this film. Like, this film was meant to be seen in IMAX, just as Christopher Nolan intended to be. People go to Nolan's films, especially in IMAX. But even going in this film, I enjoyed and adored this movie in this IMAX format, and even with the sound design, even with the sound coming out of speakers, it was truly breathtaking. So when it's all on screen, I mean, this film has to be seen on the biggest screen as possible. Like I definitely enjoyed seeing on the big screen, even with the sound of like the bomb sounds, and even with everything going off, and even with the sound design and everything, it was truly beautiful. And even with this film that had like a stacked cast, even with Jack Quaid, Josh Peck, and even with Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, and even I mean, there's like so much more, and even with some familiar faces, but like these stacked cast, and even with these characters, definitely gave it the best, and they gave awesome performances. I mean, I gave these people some Oscars, but they definitely brought their best, and even with them being involved to help Oppenheimer, and even with it, so I definitely adored this cast, and even when it was announced, when this movie was kind of a stacked cast, and even like coming out of the movie, I truly adored these characters, and even with it having a stacked cast, I mean, it was definitely a great film to enjoy, even with these people and that were involved in the film. And on top of that, with Matt Damon's performance, and so I truly admire everything that they delivered, and even with his presence, like with being involved, and how Oppenheimer, I really enjoyed the performance, and even with the chemistry that Oppenheimer has with these characters, such as with Emily Blunt and Florence Pugh, and even Florence Pugh, and some her performance was definitely great, and even with the sex parts, I think I think people definitely need to be aware of. It's definitely gonna make people feel uncomfortable, especially with going in this film, and even with film being like a war drama, but even with the with the characters that Oppenheimer has chemistry with. It was truly awesome to see. With this film that has such a big cast, everyone gets a proper screen time, even throughout the film, as I definitely enjoyed the characters, and even with the additional ones too. Even from the start of the film, and with how this movie goes, every single frame, especially in black and white, and it really tells the story of Oppenheimer and how he became a physicist, and even launching the atomic bomb, and even with them hanging out with Albert Einstein, which I truly enjoyed about the film in general. And even with the rest of the film, I just really enjoyed it, and just to see everybody coming together, as it was based on a true story about the launch of the atomic bomb by Oppenheimer, and even so I just truly admire everything that went in the film, and even with the last 30 minutes of the film, it was definitely a masterpiece, and even just to see on screen, it was truly breathtaking just to see it all, and even with everything, and just with everyone in this film that definitely crushed it, and just with and everything, I just really enjoyed this film. Even with my final thoughts, I thought that this was a great Christopher Nolan film, a 10 out of 10 for me. I can't wait for more Nolan films in the future, especially after watching Oppenheimer. This movie was definitely a masterpiece and a must-see on the big screen, especially in IMAX. And even so, I think that this one was made for IMAX screens, and even so, I think that this is the film that people will go to see repeat viewings for, and I just really enjoyed the kick out of this film, and I just really enjoy it, and with the way that Christopher Nolan intended to be. And yeah, and with Oppenheimer, I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was fantastic. It was definitely one of Nolan's best films. Yeah, and even so, it was amazing to see this. And IMAX, it's a must see. And now that Barbenheimer is now complete, especially with Barbie and Oppenheimer that are now out, and even with Oppenheimer as a award drama, and it's a thriller movie, and even it flew us so quick, and even so this was a definite masterpiece from Christopher Nolan himself. Especially with Cillian Murphy, his performance was outstanding, especially with everyone involved as well, and even with it being a stacked cast as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I highly recommend it, and I really enjoyed the film as well. And so that is gonna be my first video, and let me know what you guys thoughts in the comments below, and how excited are you for Oppenheimer, and if you've already seen the film, and give me a rating to 1 out of 10. Give this video a like and subscribe to turn on notification bell for future videos, and also follow my socials, which are linked down below. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.